What do you think of when you hear the word submission? It's very, very confusing stuff, and pastors nowadays, because of the feminist movement, skip over it altogether.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what's like in everybody else's church, but it certainly happened, you know, in churches that I've been in, where they skip it over. But one of the things that I heard somebody interpret it, that women are supposed to live for their husbands, but husbands are supposed to die for their wives. It's like the woman has the better role when you really look at it that way. But it's the idea of submitting to one another out of reverence for Christ, and then the two examples are what that actually looks like. And that the woman is supposed to honor and respect her husband, and the husband is supposed to be willing to lay down his life for his wife. That means he makes her his number one priority, and men are not doing that. When I wrote the first edition of the book, the Ephesians 5 book, was actually called Dance With Me, and I changed the title and I added 100 pages. So I changed the title because it was Dance With Me, a Hopeful Romantic Interprets Ephesians 5. But people thought it was about dancing, so I changed the title and added more material. But Shirley and her husband were actually at that event, and we had it at Vanguard University. All the men came in the morning, and I had breakfast, just me and the guys. We had bacon and eggs and sausage and all the stuff that you're not supposed to have because it's not healthy, but guys love. And I sat down with them around a big table and started off with what bugs you most about women. And so they went around the table. I didn't tell them to, but they just spontaneously went around the table and listed something funny and goofy that they didn't understand about their wives. And it was cute. Second time around, one of the men cried. And his statement was that, again, working with me, how much a difference it had made in their relationship. And when he lost it, then everybody else felt comfortable to lose it, just like women do. So I'm sitting here with these guys giving this very intimate look into their experience with their wives. And at one point I felt like I shouldn't be here. This is like holy ground. Women don't get that opportunity to really hear a group of men talking freely about what it's like to be married. And then the men left and the women came, and we had a nice, I think it was a salad luncheon, maybe sandwiches, I don't remember. Shirley might remember what it was. But we had this nice luncheon in the courtyard, and then we all went into the chapel, and I spent 3.5 hours trying to teach the women that everything they'd learned about the men was wrong, you know. And the funny part was with the guys, I thought, okay, guys like bullet points. They like really short things. So I gave them a half sheet of paper. So 5x7 sheet of paper, or whatever 8.5 by 11 cut in two is. I gave them that. And I had 3 lines on it. I said, I'm going to give you 3 bullet points. And so I'm talking, and, you know, they're jotting stuff down. And I said, okay, number 2. And I remember one of the men said, number 2, I've got like 10 written down already. So everything you say with men is the bottom line. But anyway, that evening, then they all went away and got dressed up and came back, and we had a dance. So it was really, really fun. But that's what the book came out of. The first edition of the book was in a 3-ring binder that I wanted everybody to have the material to take home with them, and then I expanded it from there. But it was a lot of fun. We really don't understand what it looks like. You know, we think of it as you're a doormat, that, you know, you just, whatever he says goes. And again, I'm going to tell you, there's a science to it and there's an art to it. And if we go with the feminist narrative is such a popular word these last few years. If we go with a feminist narrative, you just let them have it if you don't like what they're doing. And if you do that, you're going to crush him. You're going to break him in nothing flat. And when a man feels like he's about to be broken, he will either crumble or he will lash out. And both of those, it's hard to see the guy who's lashing out and fighting back that you're actually crushing him. But you are, or he wouldn't be fighting back.